Welcome, everybody, to another episode of G2KAPA. Get to know a person already. And today we have an icon of horror
Ew.
talk. And it's Taylor Complains. He doesn't like that I say it. I will say it because I am manifesting it into existence, sir. I enjoy watching you, as will everyone else. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being on.
So many people just threw up onto whatever device they're using to people are like, damn it, Hugs, there's throw up on my phone now. Or like a
I'm proud of that.
keyboard or something. I apologize to everybody who was just sick at that
But
comment.
I'm very excited. So recently, and this will air after, we recently had you on as a guest on Scaranoia. Of course, you're friends with some of my friends with mutuals, Chris and Jared, the co-hosts of Scaranoia. But so how long have you been doing TikTok? Like, have you always done horror content? Have you always?
I don't know if I want to say I'm a failed comedian because I never really tried. I love comedy and I started doing comedy on TikTok and it was just me like doing jokes in front of my camera that because I write jokes all the time, all day, every day. And it was just me saying these horrible things into a camera and then posting them on here. And then I was like, I saw someone do a movie review and I was like, I could maybe do both. So now I do both. And it's more palatable, I think, because I'm just like, oh, I have to tell jokes now that aren't as super gross because TikTok won't allow you to post them if they're super gross. But I also get to talk about horror movies, so if I ever want to lean more to one side or another, I have like a backdrop, if that makes any sense, like a failsafe.
I get you. So have you always been super into horror? Or was that something you got more into? Like when you got on TikTok, you're like, oh, let me get into horror content.
I think I'm like as much into horror as I am into comedy. So it's like my whole life I've been like watching comedians and horror movies. But surprisingly, I don't like horror comedies very much. Like I'll watch them and
Okay.
I can derive great happiness from them and whatever meaning that lies within them. It's not my first genre of choice. I think that both of them together are kind of corny. But I do like a campy horror movie, which isn't like intentionally comedic. You know what I mean? Like a
Well,
Tucker and Dale versus Evil, where it's intentionally comedic versus like a Reanimator, where it's just like over the top and gross.
what I was gonna say, Shaun of the Dead. I'm a huge fan
Shaun
of
of the
Shaun
Dead's
of the
great.
Dead.
I
I
love
love
Shaun
Shaun
of
of
the
the
Dead.
Dead. But I wouldn't, if I'm going to watch a horror movie, I wouldn't like seek out Shaun of the Dead. I would be like, oh, I want to watch
Yeah.
a comedy that happens to have horror elements to it.
You're like, I'm gonna watch Sinister and I'm probably not gonna laugh. Or sleep
Yeah. I do love Sinister.
afterward.
Actually, the fact you say that, that's one of the ones that's messed me up the most.
It is, in my opinion, it is the most scary film to ever be made. Like you could say Exorcist maybe, but like that's for its time. I think contemporarily, Sinister's probably the most like it's the scariest film that I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of them.
It's the whole, well, yeah, I was going to say, if I was going to ask anybody, like you've seen way more than I ever will. But no, that's definitely, it's the whole concept of it just kind of messes with me in general. So that is something that I'm interested. We'll get to that in a little bit though. I
Oh
want to
yeah.
stay more on your content creator journey. So what made you want to get on TikTok? Was this a pandemic thing like everybody else, or were you making content anywhere else?
I really wanted to be a stand-up comedian, and like the pandemic hit, and I've always been writing jokes. I think I have I write them all in my notes folder in my iPhone, and I think that I'm at like 2,300 something, and it's just like a premise or like a joke and a punchline, and I was just like I got to do something with these. Like I'm not getting any younger, so I turned 37, and I was like, yo, there's no way that I'm gonna turn 40 and not have an archive of all of my jokes or at least something to show for like this many years of my life. And I just made a catalog of like different ideas, and then March of this year came around and I was like, "Oh, I'll start reviewing horror films because me telling jokes into my phone is not really like it's not getting the audience that I want. It was just making people upset." And I'm like, "I don't want to make people upset. So like let's redo this because that's not what I'm out here to do." So I don't know. I just started
Or,
reviewing horror movies. It still makes people upset, but like in a different way. So like, the movie sucks. I'm like, yeah, okay, but they're subjective. Like the scariest movie I think is
controversy,
Sinister,
man.
but it's
Yeah.
it's it's all subjective. You don't have you could be listening to this and think Sinister sucks. That's fine.
If you do, then you got to be wrong because both of us agree on that. And I mean,
It half and half of the world's opinion disagrees with you. Me and Hugs. So you are wrong if you do not think that Sinister is the
that's right.
scariest movie.
Okay, so I hear the comedy thing. I love it. So of course I'm a Chicago guy. Like I grew up doing improv in school. Second City is like, you know, what I'm all about. I love that. I did like improv Olympics in high school. But so when I hear you saying all this and you know it's not connected, are you like locked in the community? Do you have friends like in comedy that like local to you or
I know nobody in comedy. It's just like me with this lofty dream of being able to do something with either comedy or horror films. And I'm just like, I can combine both of them. So this is just kind of what
but
I'm
you're
doing.
not huge into horror comedy? You're
No,
like
I don't like horror
comedy.
comedies. But I have to isolate them both. I do have a comedy podcast, and then my Instagram and TikTok is all horror. So it's like they're both isolated. But comedy does bleed into my reviews a lot. So
I was going to say you definitely have a lot of comedic elements in the way you deliver
yeah.
your reviews on TikTok. But the reason I was asking if you're locked in is because almost, you know, if you're having that type of issue, I was just curious if you ever tried writing for somebody, if you've ever like given jokes off or like written for a specific comic, because I think that'd be interesting.
I've written for a couple of like variety podcast shows that were like, "Hey, we saw your podcast. We really liked it. It's super offensive, but can you like write something in the realm of this and that?" And I did, and then these people like use it in their like variety shows for their podcasts. Um, uh, most, I guess specifically, there was one that I was just a part of. I actually acted in it. I've never acted before, but they're like, "Hey, can you write your sketch, run it by us, and then maybe act in it?" And I was like, "I guess." So I was like a murderous Bob Ross,
Okay. Love
and
it.
I was, yeah, I don't know, it was just cool. I've never heard Bob Ross say the F word before, so it was cool. It was
Nice.
nice.
Just leaving happy little accidents all over the place.
It was great. I got to kill somebody as Bob Ross. He said the F word. It was great. It was
That's
my
cool.
whole dream because I love Bob Ross.
I dig that. Well,
It's
okay,
ironic.
we're getting into people that you love, and that makes me think Deadpool, the Bob Ross Deadpool thing. I don't know.
Oh, that's
There,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it
yeah,
makes
yeah.
me think that. But so getting into that and talking about how much you love Bob Ross, I'm interested in the comedy side. So I feel like a lot of people, especially in our friend group, know you more for horror talk and stuff. And we'll get
Yeah.
to that. I'm interested in that. But I want to go down this comedy vein. You and I briefly talked before the recording here. I love George Carlin. I made a George Carlin reference.
I
Who are
love
some
George
of
Carlin.
your comedic you know inspirations, or just some of your favorite comics?
Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, Louis C.K. There's so many. What's the guy? I can't. There's so many. Daniel Tosh. You know,
Okay.
like just I'm not Dan. I mean, Dan Cook is I like what he does now, but when you know he was corny early on. I feel like he's
I
better
still loved
now.
it.
He's
I
good
still
now.
loved it. I
Chris
watched the
D'Elia.
movies.
Chris D'Elia's good. Like I don't know. Like I like Tony Hinchcliffe, even though he said that Puerto Rico's a big pile of trash. Like I don't know. I don't. Comedy never offends me. I never get offended by comedy because the whole point is I want to make you laugh because we recognize how hard the world is to live in and inhabit and expensive. So why not laugh? I don't know. I never. I like all comedy as long as it's not like Jerry Seinfeld's a little corny to me because he's like I don't want to swear. I don't know. Like I'm like okay that's weird, but you know.
Well, when I'm hearing like initially your entire list, you know, Chris Rock a little less so nowadays, but definitely in his prime. But like most everybody there, minus like Richard Pryor, you name like
No,
all the
Richard Pryor
most
is
like
really good.
intensely like unapologetic, like Andrew Dice Clay, maybe you could
Andrew
have
Dice
thrown in there.
Clay,
Like, but everybody else was in that same vein of the unapologetic, like don't care what they say if it
Eddie
hurts feelings or
Murphy.
whatever. Like, yeah, because you definitely had a vibe with all those you know those comedians. So like, is this something you were just always into comedy growing up? Is this something like
I just have always liked making people laugh. Like I did a lot of impressions when I was in like grade school because I didn't have the like intellect to conjure together a joke. So I would do impressions and people like my impressions. I had like a Bernie Mac impression. I'd make fun of our like high school teachers. Like I somehow I could finagle my voice into all these different like tones and baritones and treble and like and it sounded like our teachers and the people that we would watch all the time. I had like a Chris Tucker one when Rush Hour came out. I don't know. I just love making people laugh and smile and it's weird. I do that now, but like as a server at a restaurant, I'm not like a comedian, but I mean, they all kind of
you're an
go hand in
entertainer
hand.
in a way
Yeah, kind of. What do you
with
want? Okay.
performance?
And I walk away. That's
But
not
I'm
what we
saying
ordered.
like
Then don't come here.
I really appreciate that though when I have somebody, like service industry jobs, like it's rough. Like I don't want to say it sucks because like some people like some locations do suck, like
Yeah.
absolutely. But I also feel like it's your crew, it's your management, it's your clientele. Like there's a lot that goes into it. But it's like I always appreciate people who like are just a vibe. Like that's the way I can say it. But it is very performative sometimes. Like you're there, you're kind of like, having that interaction. Like
I
it's
cannot I cannot express to you or convey to you in any certain words how remedial my management team is. I can't. I
hmm.
can't, and I use the acceptable R word because I listen to what bothers people and I adapt.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, we're
But
not here to upset anybody, but they're so remedial. Oh my God.
so I get that. So okay, so you're making people laugh. You're doing the class clown thing, but you use some very specific verbiage in explaining things. Do you have a musical background? Do you play music? Do you sing? Do you whatever?
I was a singer for a band for a long time.
Well, because the way you mentioned, like not just I could imitate things. You said like treble, like like you made some like musical references
Oh
in
yeah,
saying that.
just like the fluctuation of my voice to
Yeah,
making because I'm like my voice is really
people don't
nasally,
normally
so
say
yeah.
that though. In that
No.
like specificity of words. That's why I was curious what you're. So what kind of music did you sing? What kind of band were you in?
I've been in death metal bands, I've been in hardcore bands, I've been in like emo bands, or not emo, pop punk bands. I've never done an emo band. Just pop punk, hardcore, death metal, just like all kinds. That's just the kind of music that I was supposed to grow out of as a kid, but I never did.
It's not a phase.
I swear to God, I wanted it to be. My mom was like, "This, you will not listen to this screaming shit forever." And I was like, "Okay." Now I'm 2 years away from 40, and I still listen to the same stupid stuff. Maybe not all the same stuff. I don't listen to any new metal anymore, but it's graduated into stuff that's so much worse.
So let's jump into that. What were some of your influences as a singer? Like what, or even just some of your favorite bands growing up?
Oh, dude, I love like Metallica and Slayer and Pantera, and that translated into like Disturbed and Korn and Limp Bizkit and Linkin Park and like in middle school, and then that turned into Killswitch Engage and Shadows Fall and Atreyu, Bleeding Through, and then that just went really gross into like, oh, now we're gonna listen to death. Now we're listening to like Undeath and Counterparts and End and just like all these just you can't even. It just sounds like if we were in Louisiana when the tornadoes hit, like they just recorded that and put it on a CD. Like it just sounds gross.
I get you.
Like
I feel that. Well, like, because I was gonna say like Cannibal Corpse and stuff like
yeah,
that. I
yeah,
don't know
yeah,
if
yeah.
you
No, I've seen
were
them.
just
I they've played like right down the street from where my apartment is in Costa Mesa, California right now.
very cool. So, like, were you doing any of the screaming? Like, I know, like
Yeah,
you were
I
talking
did
about
both.
hardcore punk. Like, did you? Okay. So,
I would do the
like,
singing and the screaming, but the screaming would like deteriorate my singing voice so that like going back and forth in transition was a little hard. So I had to like take vocal classes for that and like kind of learn how to like use my diaphragm and like speak with my belly instead of my throat because you could damage your vocal cords by doing that. So just learning like proper technique and what to do and how to take care of it and I never smoked cigarettes, so it was like, hey, I wasn't doing super like detrimental work to my vocal cords, but learning how to use them right was nice.
I've known a lot of people in the music industry, especially people that have done screamo or death metal stuff like that, and it really messes up their voice. Also, shout out to Jared who used to do a performative character with a weird voice, and that would mess up his voice all the time too.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
You can tell like who's using their diaphragm and who's not because after their performance you can hear like they sound like iron lung emphysema. They just sound crazy. But like people that are doing it right, they sound completely normal afterwards. It's like you can't tell the difference. And I was just like, how do you do that? Like I was spitting up blood when I was like a teenager because I didn't know how to use my voice.
well, because you don't even know at that point, you're just imitating and
Yeah.
doing what you see, what you hear. Like you don't even understand that there are techniques to handle that. You're just doing your thing.
Oh, I was so excited when I figured out I could do it. I was like, oh, like my neighbors hated me, but I was like, dude, I could do, Slipknot does this. I could do this. Like now I don't listen to that band, but at the time I was like, yo, no way. I could do it
Well,
too.
and I know you've mentioned, Tony Hinchcliffe, and we've talked before about Kill Tony. So it makes me think of
No.
William Montgomery. William Montgomery with the yelling and all that. He's talked about that a lot as well too. In his
Yeah.
comedy, he like yells a lot and has messed up his voice to where he's got like
Are
issues.
Are you a big comedy fan? I mean, I know
Oh,
you like
absolutely.
Kill Tony, but like, do you what podcasts do you listen to, and do you get
Um,
inspiration from them?
podcast wise, not really. I mean, I like Theo Vaughn.
Theo Von's
I
good.
listen to him a lot, but like, podcast wise, I don't listen to a ton. But I grew up off stand up comedy and like, um, it was more through school is what I got in improv and stuff. But, I love George Carlin. I did love Richard Pryor, same lot, Chris Rock, like we're same age. So, early
Yeah,
'90s stuff. Bill Burr, I like as well. A lot of the
dude,
same
he's
ones that
so
you
good.
referenced. I'm also like comedy actor guy because like I love Steve Martin. Steve Martin's like
Steve
a
Martin's
huge,
so good. I had to drop a
yeah,
cheaper by the dozen reference on you guys yesterday, and
exactly, and
it's
I
like
appreciated it.
the only person that I think ever would appreciate that was you.
We had in a few episodes back we had a good conversation about Three Amigos, so Chevy Chase, Martin Short, Steve
I love
Martin.
Chevy Chase.
But yeah, no, I've been a huge comedy fan my entire life. I actually have a minute ready if I ever. I used to live outside Austin,
Do you
so
really?
if
Dude,
I
Joe
like
Rogan's got a club. He's got a club. You could
that's
do
what I'm
stand
saying.
up.
I got a minute trying to go on Kill Tony maybe one day. I think that'd be pretty cool. But I
How would
do
you
religiously
navigate
watch
that?
Kill Tony.
How would you
The
navigate like the nervousness that it would take to go up there? And if people can tell, it affects it affects the effectiveness of your jokes. How would you go
oh
up
yeah.
there and
I mean I've done some stage work and stuff before, so it's like
uh
I
okay.
do like, not that I talk about this much publicly, but I do have really bad social anxiety on occasion. But when I'm performing, I don't have it at all. It's kind of weird. I
That's
don't know. It's like the opposite of stage
crazy.
fright because I don't envision like nobody's there. Like I don't envision anybody. I'm like in whatever character I'm in, like and nothing else exists. I've done improv for many years when I was younger, and people would say stuff that I had said afterwards, like, "Oh, it's hilarious when you did this thing." I'm like, I don't even
Yeah.
remember doing that. I have
I
no
think
clue
it
what
would
happened.
terrify me to go up there because I would just be afraid of like making someone upset. But then I've
Mm.
tried to write jokes that aren't like controversial. I mean, I don't purposely intend to be controversial, but like I try to write other jokes and I'm just like, I don't like those. I'm not like saying anything. I'm not like pushing. I'm not trying to like, I feel like it's not personal enough. I don't want to make cookie cutter jokes because I feel like anybody could do that. I feel like comedy's at its best when it's challenging how we think.
Well, so you're West Coast.
Yeah.
Like I grew up Chicago, so we had Mancow, but also like I know East Coast had Howard Stern, right? Or was it
Yeah,
he
dude.
was New York, right? Like, were you into any of that? Were you
I
because
I listened to Howard Stern before we started talking. I listened
oh
to him. I've listened to Howard Stern. My I think my 30 years for 30 years ever since I was like 10. I think. No, no. I think I was younger than that because I had one of those alarm clocks that would wake you up as a kid, but it would
mm,
go right to the radio. It didn't have like an alarm on it. And the station that it would go to was Howard Stern, and I didn't do, it was on accident. And I would listen to him while I was waking up in the morning, and I just kept doing it. And that was through like what, third grade, fourth, fifth, sixth, and I'm 38 now. So it's been like 30 years.
I remember, and this is again going to age us really bad, but like
Oh
again,
yeah.
Chicago guy. So I was hardcore Mancow, who was like the enemy of Howard Stern back in the day. But Mancow was huge out here, and I used to listen to him on cassette because my dad was like really
Jeez.
big into Mancow. But so yeah,
My dad loved Howard Stern. That's how I got into it. I would listen to Howard Stern with my dad in the car, and he'd be like, obviously
yep,
turn it off when it got gross, but I would turn it back on when I
mine
got to
did
my
not.
room.
It's like mine did not turn it off.
Yeah. Yeah, no, mine did.
Uh, my dad, he was the one that I don't know. Like, did you ever watch Beavis and Butthead, like
Oh
Ren and
yeah,
Stimpy, stuff like
all
that?
the time, yeah. Ren and
So they had
Stimpy
a
was
movie.
wild. I couldn't believe that was on like network television, like because I
Oh
watch it
yeah.
now. I watch it now and I like it, but for different reasons because of how morbid it is.
Well, I was gonna say, as you get older, you see a lot of these shows for what they really are. It's kind of crazy. Like even
Dude,
SpongeBob nowadays. If you actually watch SpongeBob, it's kind of wild.
I don't know how they get away with like it feels like there's like undertones of like really, really weird borderline
Well,
stuff in there
especially
and I'm
Ren
like,
and
oh
Stimpy
yeah, that's
was.
the one with like the nipples that go into the eyes and I'm like,
Yeah.
what is this shit? And like Rocco's Modern Life too.
Oh, that was also wild.
Like there's just a
Um.
lot there and you're just I don't know.
Well, the reason
Or
I
like
bring that up
Cow and
though.
Chicken with that devil
Oh,
with his
dude, I loved
butthole
Cow
out.
and Chicken
Like
though.
I like Cow
Yeah.
and Chicken too, but like if I watch it as an adult, it's like I go into these deep dives, I'm like, pedophiles made this. You know, like
Oh,
I'm just trying to think of like who's going on. Like I like it, I still enjoy it,
yeah.
but I'm like, how how do you make that? How does this pass
Look at the
whatever board?
Nickelodeon, what you
Yeah,
call it, the Nickelodeon documentary,
you're
man.
yeah, absolutely. Like the lights out or it's quiet on
Yeah,
set.
yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy to find all that now, but it's like are we surprised with how weird some of the stuff kind of looked?
Well, that's kind of what I think about because I'm like, we wouldn't have known, but the parents should
No,
have known. Look at Pee Wee's Playhouse. That
dude,
was like an acid trip.
that's true. That's true. But it didn't make me feel weird when I like
No,
watching it as an adult because like all the allegations against Pee Wee Herman or Paul
yeah,
something, Paul
Paul
whatever,
Rubens
Paul
or
Rubens.
whatever. Yeah,
eh, all he did was like do what everybody else does in
no.
a theater watching a movie like that. Like
Well, Louis
who go
C.K. does it in front of people, so a little
dude,
different than
who
people.
goes to movies like that and doesn't do that? I would be weird at the people that weren't do. You just you like the story? Is that why you're here? Like I would
Yeah,
have
exactly.
questions.
Hey man, some people appreciate good writing. Okay, that's all that matters.
Good writing,
Um,
good writing goes there to die, I think.
but talking about the theater, that was why I asked if you watch Beavis and Butthead. Like my dad did not turn off Mancow. My dad snuck me into the Beavis and Butthead movie
Oh,
back when
dude,
that came out when I was a
it
kid.
was so good. Did you watch the newer one that just came out, Do the
I have
World?
not. I
Dude,
did see that they had one, but
it's pretty good. It's I think it's on Netflix. I think you could literally
I
like
have to
go
check it
watch it
out.
after this. It's pretty good.
We need to set up some time and watch some stuff. I've talked with Jared and Crispy about doing because again, I used to be a YouTube reactor is what I did. I've wanted to do some with them, get them together and like do some reacts, watch some stuff, and
That would be
watch
so
some
much
shows,
fun.
movies, stuff like that. We'll have to connect. But so we're going through all this. We're going kind of through your childhood, and it seems like you're just like a born performer. Like you love comedy. Seems like you were a class clown. Like you definitely trying to do comedy. You're doing the horror thing. You were singing. Like if you could be anything? What would you be? A stand up comic?
Oh, I would be stand-up comic in a heartbeat. I would be a stand-up comic or a comedy writer or like a coach or and I'm not saying that I know enough to be a coach. I think I just love the craft enough to practice it every day until somebody was comfortable enough to hire not hire but just like seek me out for my services and then I could help them be what I could not be and like just stand because when I was in a band I just stood in front of a bunch of people because we performed like locally everywhere but I
Mm.
had a band behind me. There's like four other dudes behind me like in the same situation I was in. So standing up there by myself just sounds terrifying. So either stand up comedy, horror movie reviewer or like some kind of writer for a horror for a comedy.
Okay. So like, let's get more into the horror side of it because I'd be remiss if I didn't. You are, as I stated, the icon of horror talk. I
Oh,
refuse to take any slander that
I'm a
is otherwise.
pariah.
What were some of your early influences in horror? Like, what got you really into or interested in horror?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Chucky, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream. Pretty like all the stuff that I hate now. I hate those films now because they're old and they need to die, and we can't stand on their laurels anymore. We need to demand new ideas, fresh thinking, fresh characters, fresh villains. I'm so excited for Terrifier because we finally get hopefully a new icon. Hellraiser can stay. We just need to do better with it because I think he has the potential to be an amazing villain. We just need to stop tapping into all these old ideas and step forward as a community and demand newer shit because I don't want Freddy Krueger anymore. I don't want to. Jason went to space already. We're done with it. But we can't stop talking about it. And if I see one more review of how The Exorcist is the scariest movie of all time, I'm gonna lose it because The Exorcist was 60, 70 years ago. It's 78, 79. Like, let it go. There's so many other horror movies out there that maybe just don't get the clout that it gets, but they're just as good, if not better. Like, that's not even the best Exorcist movie. Like, there's so many exorcism movies that are better, and that's a horrible genre in and of itself because you can only do so much. The bed shakes, the lady's head turns around, and she throws up. I don't know. It's not that scary to me.
Exorcism. like theme things were much scarier to me when I was younger, just because it felt like it could be like real. Like it felt like this was like
Yeah.
actual stuff that was happening to people. But I understand, and me and Jared have gone back and forth in this argument because I defended Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original.
Oh, it's a
But
great film. It's a
well, and
great
that's
film.
the thing that I stand on is I agree 100% with what you're saying. Is we wouldn't have what we have nowadays
No.
if it wasn't for that, but we need the evolution from that. Like that's absolutely true what you're saying. We have to evolve.
I happily celebrate these things. I happily celebrate these franchises because they deserve to be revered with the respect that they they deserve. But how it's been 40 years since these films, 50, 60, some of them. Can we
Yeah.
do so? We got to do other stuff. Like I don't want to see another video about Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't want to see it ever again. It's it's old hat, I think. It's very much like you're just like a tap dancer and you're just like I know Nightmare on Elm Street. There's people that their whole creative horror talk identity is Nightmare on Elm Street. I it makes me want to strangle myself every time I see it because I'm just like, dude, what about the house? Have you seen the house? Have you seen the controversy with the house? I'm like, dude, who gives a shit? There's so much stuff that just came out that you're missing out on because you're living in the past in this like horror Freddy Krueger world. It's weird.
So what would you say? Okay, so obviously Terrifier is kind of an outlier. Terrifier has absolutely
Oh,
surpassed what
yeah.
everybody thought was possible. What other franchises do you see? Do you see anything else on the horizon, or do you see anything right now that you think are going to be the big cult hits in 10 years from now? Everybody's going to be saying this was the greatest.
So Cabin in the Woods bummed me out because I feel like they could have done so much with the film because you have an original premise. You have every monster that's ever been in a movie locked up in cages at the end of this film. They all get out. Spoiler alert. You have this experiment where you're luring a bunch of people into a house and trying to like guide them to make decisions, and whatever decisions they make opens up a different like monster that will hunt them and kill them. It's like D&D but horror.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing that I've ever seen conceptually, and I cannot believe that they just gave up and they didn't do a prequel. They didn't do a. There's that whiteboard in the middle of the film where it shows all the monsters that could be released.
Yeah.
It's my favorite screenshot in a film ever because I'm just like this is it could have gone 50 different ways, 30 different ways, and this is the way that it goes. Okay, so then give me the other 29 different ways that it could have gone. Cabin in the Woods too, but it's just the same film with different monsters. I pay to see that. Take my money. I would even help fund that. Like I don't it's such an amazing idea, and it's one of the most brilliant horror films I've seen in the last 30 years. That and the Evil Dead remake, which is crazy because it's a remake or a requel, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I get yelled
Yeah.
at all the time.
Reboot or whatever. Yeah. Okay. So we've been talking for a little while here. Normally, I go into what I call the lightning round. It's not really a lightning round so much anymore. It's just additional questions I want to ask that maybe aren't normal questions. Um, but it's kind of just sillier things, I guess,
Okay.
that are kind of more about the types of stuff we've been talking about. But it's also things I'm just interested in. So let's say you had an endless budget, okay, and you are a producer, however you want to look at it, and you're going to start a new comedy series or comedy movie. Who do you have in your writing room? You can pick two writers, two actors. Who do you have writing it? Who do you have acting in it for the greatest comedy of all time?
Bill Burr probably and Tom Segura are going to be
Okay.
writing it. And who's going to be starring in it? I'd probably put Bill Burr to star in it as well. And then I love Leonardo DiCaprio.
Hmm.
I think it would be so. He was so good in Wolf of Wall Street, and he has comedic chops that people forget about just because he's such a good actor. And I think he's like the actor of our generation. And I think that he puts people in the seats. I think you can't lose. Bill Burr and Leonardo DiCaprio would be
I was gonna
crazy
say
to
that's
see
a
on scene.
what is that movie? Is this a buddy cop movie? Like, what are we going with?
I
Like, what
have,
is
dude,
the?
I have no idea. We could, I mean, it could get as controversial as like Leonardo DiCaprio and Bill Burr versus abortion, like Leonardo DiCaprio and Bill Burr as a cop drama, buddy cop. They could be the principals from 21 Jump Street. You know how like, you
Yeah.
know how like Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum were like they were infiltrated the school as like kids.
Hmm.
What if they had to do it as principals? And it could be like Leonardo DiCaprio's a teacher, and then like Bill Burr's the principal, and they're trying to find these kids that are like selling drugs, or maybe their dads are part of a cartel or something. I don't know. It'd be funny.
See, you got to get this man hooked up.
And that's right
Hollywood's
off
got to
the and
catch
it
this
was
right
that's
there.
right off the dome. It's not the
There
best
you
thought in the
go.
world, but it's right. I was on the spot.
Well, that's what we're trying to get. We're just trying to get your vibe. We're trying to get you to know you more and the way you think. That's what I, at least what I'm going for with this. So we're gonna go in a similar vein. Okay, I want to take a horror character and make a comedy. What horror character do you think would be the best in a comedy?
Oh my God, Pinhead, because he's got like ultimate powers and he can just do like he could just wreak havoc and be weird. Like
Because I'm like ultimate scary movie with Pinhead. Is that what we're going with?
I mean, you're talking about making a horror icon and making it funny, right? So
Yeah,
Pinhead
making him a
being
comedy character.
like watching him run around in like a leather outfit, just causing havoc with that. Like he's not killing anybody. He's just like there's a guy on a like on those billboards and he's painting them, and he just Pinhead just like this, and the guy like does a backflip off of it, and Pinhead's just in that stupid leather outfit. And you're just like, what is going on? I just think it'd be ironically funny.
I love it. Okay.
Pinhead sees a
Um,
wheelchair. He goes up, sees a person in a wheelchair. He flicks his finger, and a bunch of stairs pop up. The number one enemy to the wheelchair is the step.
Well, and I was like, what is that? There's the I'm trying to think of the Conan O'Brien like Paul Rudd thing with the kid that like flies down the staircase. I can't think of the movie that's from,
Oh, dude.
but it's like their meme that they have all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've asked a couple people this. What would your weapon of choice be in the zombie apocalypse?
Uh, I would say like probably like a katana. God, it sounds so nerdy, but like I feel like it puts enough distance away from me and the zombie to where like it can't touch me. Like I could kind of smell it, but I can't smell it, and like I might still be able to like eat afterwards if I'm not super grossed out. So and it's like one right to the head. I've watched too much Walking Dead. I sat through all 10 seasons, and I feel like if I had that katana, I feel like I'd be all right. You can lob the head off. You could just get it right in the forehead. I don't know.
Now we're gonna throw, I'm keeping the theme. We're gonna pick one comedian, one horror character, and someone from one of the bands that you named earlier. Who are you in your zombie killing squad? Who are you
Oh,
bringing with you?
dude. For the band, I'm gonna pick my friend Kyle. He sings for a band called Wake,
Okay.
and they're one of the bands that sound like Hurricane Katrina. They sound insane, like a tornado, Sharknado.
Okay.
For comedians, I'm gonna pick Eddie Murphy, but from the '80s, like when he was doing like
Okay.
Delirious, just because he
All right.
says crazy shit. I just imagine what he would be screaming at the zombies while he killed them. And then a horror character, I'd probably pick Victor Crowley from Hatchet. Just
Okay.
because like I need the muscle because I'm all bones. Even though
You
I
got to do
go
the
to the
heavy lifting.
yeah, I go to the gym, but you cannot tell. I look like spaghetti with like two lumps in it. It's terrible. So I need the
You're swole,
protection.
brother.
I
You're
need the
swole,
protection.
brother. Okay. Okay. What is the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Um, Stop apologizing. Just do what you're gonna do. You know what your intentions are. If your intentions are good, then you have nothing to apologize for. But if your intentions are bad, then you need to rethink what you're doing. So just stop apologizing. Now, I learned that like a long time ago because I was always like, "Oh, I want to be a comedian, but all the jokes I read are really terrible, like super terrible. And people are just like, yo, do you like, are you like a weirdo? Like, is this, I think, do you really feel the way that you feel in the jokes? I'm like, no, I just want to make people laugh. I think they're just like kind of not edgy, but they're just, I don't know, whatever. And they're like, well, then stop apologizing. Just tell the jokes. And then if you have good intentions, like people are going to know right away.
So, do you find it hard to follow that advice still, though?
Oh hell yeah! Because I get in trouble for all the jokes that I tell. I get in trouble. People don't like it, but I'm like, I don't. But some people do like it, and I get praise and backlash from both sides. People are like, "Yo, that was really hilarious," and I never would have been able to think of that. And other people are just like, "You're immature, and I don't like that, and it's stupid." I'm like, I don't. All I know is that my intentions are to make people laugh and enhance the quality of people's lives. So that's what I'm gonna do. I don't know. You can get mad. It doesn't affect me. I'm still gonna tell the jokes.
Bro, no matter what food you serve, what TV channel you turn on, what song you listen to, or what color the sky is, somebody's not going to like it.
That is true. I mean, even with horror reviews, like I
Yeah.
did one with I don't like Scream, so I was like, I don't get this franchise. It's the guy who wears a mask and then you take the mask off and you're like, what? It's my anorexic brother. How did he beat the shit out of like 17 people? It's and a bunch of people got upset. They're like, you're an edgelord. You're just posting this because you're trying to be a contrarian. It's like, no, this is my actual opinion, and this is what I've like. These are the thoughts that I've conjured up in my brain, and I have regurgitated into this video. And you're just as entitled to your opinion to comment as I am to post the video.
I
That's what
love
I've
that
learned.
100 times more just because of Jared. Just because I know that that has to make Jared sad on the inside that you hate
Well,
Scream.
Jared's opinions suck, so that's. I mean, it's a fact. It's in the dictionary, probably.
He pretty much like contradicts every opinion I have, so I have to agree with that.
He does.
Okay,
He does. How do you hate Smile? It's so good. It's so
so
good.
before we wrap up here, is there anything else you want to talk about before we finish off? I've really enjoyed having you on, man. I appreciate it. I've really had a good time getting to know you more. I want to have you back on in the future. There's so much more I know we can talk about. But is there anything that you want to get through before we finish off here?
I just want to say I appreciate you having me on, even though I talk over people, and I know I do, but I'm working on it. But I feel like it's something I'm going to be working on until the end of my life. I'm not going to apologize for it because I just said I wasn't going to apologize, but I'm working on it.
I do too. It's a struggle. So it's something that I and actually just quick story, I learned it from YouTube. I didn't know this. So I used to do YouTube with my ex. And there would be people that would comment on my videos just trashing me that apparently I did not respect women because
Huh?
I would overtalk her. And I'm like, well, come to find out, I didn't know that I had ADHD. And that's a common thing. And when I'm medicated, I don't do that as much. I never knew that was a thing. But for me, it's I hear people talking and I immediately know what my response is to what they're saying. So I just start saying the response to what they're saying.
I
But
have
I
that
get you.
same. I have ADD, and I'm not medicated for it, and
No.
it wreaks havoc on me vocally. It's just like have to. But I mean, I've gotten better at shutting up.
You know what, man? I love your opinions though, and I love hearing it. So getting it, fresh to market, fresh off the dome, that's what matters there.
Until
But
it
I
gets
do
me
appreciate
canceled.
it's not going to get you canceled there. But what I do want to ask you, though, the last question that I ask everybody is as I'm trying to get to know a person, I'm trying to get to know all people, especially people I maybe don't know as well or don't know at all. So I will ask if there's someone you can recommend that would be interested and interesting that would potentially be on the show.
Oh, Chris Short Scares. He is a horror movie reviewer, and he has such a vast knowledge of like deep cuts, like popular opinions. He goes every week to the movies with his girlfriend. I think he's like 47, 48. He still has all his hair because he's a privileged bastard. And I just like what he has to say about horror movies. He's a nice guy. He's stuck with me through everything, and I really appreciate him as a human being and as someone who's really good at his craft. And he's got to be on here. Chris, if you're
Okay, cool.
listening, you gotta come on, dude.
I was gonna say, is he in your Discord or can I just connect with him on TikTok? Probably.
Probably on TikTok. I don't think I
Okay.
don't think he knows what Discord is. He might.
I'll have
He
to get him
might.
hooked up. I'll have to get
He
him
might.
tapped in. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being on. Everybody, make sure to check out Taylor Complains on TikTok. Also, his comedy content. He does have a comedy podcast as well.
Same
And
name.
I'll put that information in the link. And thank you. Can't say it enough. Everybody else, we'll be back Tuesday, Thursday. You know when to find us. We'll have many more to come. Thank you for watching.